Hi, and welcome to the Garden Fix. I'm Kristen, and I'm here in Western Pennsylvania, Zone 6B. So today I'm going to be planting out a few more things from the winter sowing project. Here I have an annual mum mix called Cherokee Mix. Now, I don't know too much about annual mums versus perennial mums. I don't know if maybe they will come back, but we'll experiment and see. And then I also have Bachelor's Buttons here, Blue Boy. And these get about 3 feet tall, and I'm going to be planting them along a border. And I'm going to separate these into about 4 separate chunks. I'm still leaving them somewhat together so that it's still kind of the hunk of seeds method. And then the Cherokee mums are going to go behind me in the border around the circle in the fire pit area. As I mentioned in the last winter sowing update we did when I planted out the wildflower mix, you know they're ready to plant when they're up a couple inches tall and they have their set of true leaves. And you can see these are actually starting to resemble mums now with their serrated leaves. And then the Bachelor's Buttons here, they have 2 to 3 sets of their true leaves and are up a couple inches as well. So last weekend I took all of the tubers out of storage that had been overwintering, and I was very pleased with what came out. I only had to throw away a very small amount of dahlias that had desiccated or rotted. The rest of them all looked really good, and they even had some growth points. So I have quite a few dahlias here that I potted up for them to get a little growth to put on. And for protection, if we do end up having kind of a late season frost or even freeze, I can pull these into somewhere sheltered. And then we have more time to think about where we're going to put them in the garden. And then I also have canna lilies and calla lilies over here that the canna lilies, I'm not quite sure. They are 50-50 or whether or not they're going to actually grow, but the calla lilies actually had growth points on them as well as the bonfire begonias. So we're going to let these be for a few weeks and put on a little bit of growth, and then they can go out in the garden. So one other thing I'd like to mention about the winter sowing is we have started to have some 80-degree temperatures. And if you have your winter sowing containers sitting in the full sun, it's going to get too hot. So you either need to open up the containers or move them to a shadier location, which I started by just opening up the containers. The sun was still so intense that it was drying the soil out really quickly. So I decided to move them into the shade, and they're doing much better there. So that's all for today. I'll continue to update you on the winter sowing project and even the pre-starting the dahlias and all the other tubers as we go along in the season. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the garden.